And are you like on the floor? Hold on. Let me grab one. Let's see. Self-love. And thank you for coming. Hi. Make this work. Right. See. Hello. Sean. I'm like, this forget. We're solidly like. Okay. So let's see who's here. And the hearts healing those who are present. And do some really big heart healings before we begin the readings. Alright, let's see. I'm going to take a moment to share this. Do some places. I welcome you to lay, get comfortable. Thank you for being present. I am going to read the cards that wanted to show themselves during this moment. Shows longing for home, homesick for the stars. Do you look and gaze and be like, come on, like, I'm ready. You have to open up. And it shows the sensitive emotions you've been kind of trying to block, but it's bubbling up inside you. That's why you're like wanting to escape. When our loved ones are here, like we've incarnated, a lot of us, and so we recognize each other, we see each other. And so acknowledging, even though you are in Earth, and you remember being maybe in the Pleiades constellations, or in Delphina constellations, or in the Lyran constellations, or in other constellations. Maybe you remember being Arcturian, whatever it is that it is that you've been, and you acknowledge that you weren't naturally from the original seed of your coming through to your early memories was not specifically seated within Gaia in that way. But you must be more open to sensitive experiences with emotions, to accept what is it, put your feelers out, expand with that, and get to be familiar with that integration, because you're longing for another place when home is in the heart. Home is inside. We are home. When we are acknowledging who we are and our purpose, loving who we are and our purpose of being. We are already here. When we acknowledge our self-worth, our inner truth, our expansional beautifulness, then we start to pull in and attract those who are supposed to be around us, who are also on the level of comprehending and empathy and sympathy and compassion and morals and what feels comfortable and certain types of ways of beingness. Being open to that. It's really big. And don't feel alone. Like, I am also working on, being able to integrate with others and to also take care of what I have to take care of, because I have to be very busy regularly. And if there's anyone else who is on the call or anything like that, it's like a bit of a distraction from what I'm supposed to be working on. I have a certain amount of computers that are functioning right now, and I have to get them fixed. I have insurance. It just takes feeling comfortable enough to go into a store like that during the holidays. Everyone looks at me. It's a lot to work through. I'm okay with that, but I'm like, it's a lot of healing that I'm expected to do in those moments. Like, a store can be completely empty, and then as soon as I walk into it, it just gets completely packed. It's like, that's why I believe they have me over there at the grand opening for spiritual shops. They like me there because it's like, let's see. I welcome those who are present. If you want to have a message from me or a reading or anything like that, I'm going to be opening it up right now so that I can share this video. I'm glad that we got these moments together before I began sharing it out. Those of you who are watching who are already followers of me, and Facebook was kind enough to inform you that I came on video. Thank you, Facebook, for allowing that. It's super nice. All right. Don't want to fall between the layers, right? Share. So I'm going to start sharing this out to places that I can share them to. I want you to take a moment to get comfortable, because I'm going to begin singing. And I'd like you to be able to be as comfortable as possible. If you could take off your shoes, you're at work, just kind of in your cubicle. Take off your shoes and wiggle your toes. Get comfortable. Now, on my website, if anyone's asking, on my website, it gives details as to how to donate to get the readings that I'm about to do. For healings, you can ask for the healings, and really feels natural to say that if you want an activation also, that will help the lot of those who are present, that we also integrate that into this experience. Okay, I'm going to go on and close that so I can utilize these. And I have to work on a gift. I have to complete it. So I'm adding crystal beings to help with the intention of what it symbolizes, and I'm going to feel into if I have to add more crystal beings to it. But it's a really beautiful offering as a gift to a really beautiful soul. So I'm probably not going to show it to you, but I have to work on it while we're here doing this in between readings. I will be singing. I know it's a little bit more messy than you're used to having it, but it's okay. All right. Another one that came through is higher education. Shows us studying into the divine studies. Not always is it going to come from an actual book, but from the golden texts of the Akashic records. What does this say? This says we are going in so deeply, expansively, that we're erasing the illusions of what was allowed to be put into writing to give to the masses. We're going into such deep layers that we go above and beyond those limitations. Then we dive into the real knowledge that has been seasoned in there, shaken in there with seeds, growing, bursting with wisdom and knowledge coming forth. Even many of the findings now, because there's so many who studied the languages to show that those who were digging them up, who were another religion, they were not giving the accurate information and inscriptions that were communicated through those tablets, through the findings, through the burial chambers. And now there's this beautiful blossoming of wisdom that comes with the Akashic wisdom and knowledge that is being blessed to us to remember of our experiences, and prayers that beings are not getting confused with the experiences, wanting to be that leadership role as a being who was a student, then now able to, because of the journey, rise up into a position to be able to help others as a teacher, as a guardian, as a guide, because of that journey. But it took a bit to get there. But the Akashic knowledge is coming into beings, remembering the footsteps, the locations, the comfortableness, what feels comfortable, what doesn't, and then acknowledging that's how they felt then also. And these are key signs of who we are as beings, how we recognize each other's presences as beings. Many of you recognize me because of my voice, because of my eyes, because of my presence. And I'm thankful that you remember me. Working with the divine education to increase paz, baris, peace. I'll say that again. To increase paz, baris, peace. Peacefulness with the heavenly spirit, with the light spirit, the soul within the womb of creation, the light, the expansive womb of light, the wisdom, the healer, the bringer of the sacred truths, bliss, feelings of healing right away. Next shows working with generosity. Generosity for the wise decision. Working with intuition. Trusting our intuition and knowing and feeling what it is to be logical as well as empathetic as well. Working with trusting our inner feelingness. Working on our inner feelingness. And I added that in there because that's what it really feels like. Is acknowledging the feeling inside that we have when we're working through our experiences. Shows the answers to the questions are within our hearts also. There's many possibilities that exist for us as beings. So stop trying to work it all out in your own head and feel the way through it. I love that I did not read this card and it even speaks of feeling. I'm so thankful. Because intuition and feeling are soul and soul awareness. It's like, dun, 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 dun. Okay, which road do I turn on? Okay, feel it through. Oh yeah, I'm going to get into that lane, I'm going to be on this middle journey, and then I'm going to expand, and I'm going to do what I need to do, and then I'm going to get into that path that I have to be on. But we have to be aware, is that path the path that we're supposed to be on? So I'm going to say it again. So stop trying to work it all out in your head and begin to feel it way through. We, the Archean, the sacred angelic, Allah Khalid, Archean, light beings. We help guide thee. Trust thy feelings deeply within, beyond the parts that are affected by others' cords and illusions, sabotage and deceit. They're seeking to affect your relationships and your experiences with each other. Releasing those cords, trusting the ningle, the part inside the tummy that's like, oh, I love you so much, or just want to be there in that way. Trusting those feelings and healing through that experience, acknowledging what is it inside that caused that feeling, that doubt or that worry or that concern. What is it that you've experienced in the past? Or what wisdom were you given by somebody else that caused you to illusion yourself or delusion yourself to feel like that was what was happening in that way? Working with the intuition says trusting that inner core, the sacral solar area, the center area where your intestines are like, what's going on? It's because you are working through that, acknowledging internally. Because where your heart has affected the way that you're thinking, you have to do heart healing so your thoughts are proper. It's not a thinking thing, it's a feeling thing. Not a, oh, I watched a video today and now I'm thinking about it and what's going on with that, or trying to reword it and make it seem like it's like a thing and it's not a thing. Don't get into those kinds of jabby potions. So we have to be comprehensive, okay, well, I'm a soul and you're a soul. And I'm feeling these experiences. What's going on with you? This is what's going on with me. Taking moments to do that is nice, but if it's an ongoing thing, it takes away from the sweetness of that experience. The next card shows marriage. Shows one of my maiden names, Diamond. Value self-worth. Value our self-worth. Our self-worth. We are a sacred, loving being, so loved by creators. As says, self-worth. Like this. So I'm going to bring in some self-worth activations. Wow. Yes. Thank you. I have a delivery. Let me go get it. Whoa. Gifts. My hips have been rearranged lately. Pray for my healing. They can grow again. Sorry, I just left you on my video. You're like, what is happening? I'm here. It's okay. Usually I leave on my songs, but it's okay. You had some moments to think. It's been nice. Or feel. Must have been awesome. All right, here I come. How did you leave, Ari? I'm going to be making a yummy gourmet meal. It's a blessing. I was just talking with the delivery driver about driving right now because it's like raining a lot right now. Like a lot rain. Okay, so let me see if I could see any of your messages on here because it's like kind of distant to go all the way over that right now. Yeah. Seems excessive. Okay, so I'm gonna see your messages. Hey Alan, happy waking too. Sean. Beautiful. I'm so glad for your messages. Thank you, loved ones. Blessings of pure love and pure light. Welcome. All right. So if you'd like to have a message or any guidance, please do ask. If you'd like to have an upgrade or an activation that you feel will be beneficial for the lot of us, you can ask. That would be fine. And let me see. If you want to have a message for, say, like a certain birth symbol, like Aries or something like that, or Capricorn, or what it is that you are, you can ask for like a lot, like, you know, the group of them on the class, just kind of like give a comprehension as to when you'd like to have the reading. What's your birthday? Don't put it exactly, because there's a lot of beings who are watching the videos and you don't know them all. So you want to be really careful giving out your private information online. And that is my suggestion to you. Alrighty. Hi. So I have my thing open right here. I'm making a blessing for someone's home. And seeing which one I want to do though. Which metal is smaller? Okay. This is copper. So we're gonna do this. I'm gonna do it on each side because it's gonna be a top and a bottom. Before I start driving over there, I heard it's gonna be, it's like lots of different beings are out on the road right now, I guess, but this will be interesting to experience. I'm gonna call you from the road and we'll have a conversation. So those of you who will be present, I'll probably do healings while I'm driving so that I don't just look at the phone and like talk to you. And you'll get to see the beauty of what is called rain and mountains and lakes and sacred urus, maybe even ocean, Pacific Ocean. We'll see. What you get to see, it depends on what direction I drive to. I do actually really want to talk about some things that have to do with listening to our own vessels. What feels comfortable when you eat, maybe like if you eat something that you made versus if you ate something that you had at a drive-through, how does your tummy handle that? How do you feel inside? And what have you noticed happening to you when you have it digestively, emotionally? What happens to you? Do you get along with everyone, or do you get into misunderstandings or communication stuff that you really want to work through? How do you work through that experience? And then forgiveness. What is your journey with forgiveness, and what is your relationship with it? Do you hold grudges until you get to say what you want to say, or make them feel what you feel that you felt? And how do you work through that so that you're not intentionally doing that to others? Um, I love you too, Amy. Thank you, darling. Aw. Welcome deeply. Aw. It's super beautiful. Thank you. And thank you, Alan. That's super loving too. Thank you. Okay. Hi. I'm making something very special. I'm on something very special. Um, yeah, it's a blessing. You're in the hole. Good job. These are such huge blessings to be able to create for beings. It's like a protection for when somebody goes in the doorway, like that only positive can come inside. And it's very blessed. It's like very, very special. And now I'm adding sacred crystal beings to even make it even more special. So I'm excited about this experience. It's going to be really precious. Like that moment when you're like, I just want to find the hole. These are really beautiful. These are zirconian or zircon. Yes. Some of them are tanzanites, amethysts, and Peruvian opal, or yeah, sacred Peruvian opal, and then another amethyst being. But the way that they've been cut is really beautiful. And then I have a clear zircon right there. Really beautiful, loving. Okay. Let's see. So yeah. Sorry. Hopefully it's all good. Emmy, you said you're having some hard moments. Aw. Through the experiences, try not to focus on holidays as holidays. Those of you who are working on they call them the holiday blues. Those of you who are working through those experiences, feel not alone. Be thankful for the loved ones that you do have near and close. Feel like you are loved by those who you feel are, like they talk. You get somebody to talk to, that's nice. If you don't, then start writing letters to the ones that you miss and that you love and that you like to have spiritually come around to greet you during the holidays if you miss them. and burn a candle, put their pictures out. Like, especially if you're really missing them a lot and you're like crying, then do something about it to help your heart heal. To honor them in that way. It's like you can't just go sit at the cemetery all day and they're not really there anyways. Just part of them was. And it's really important for you to take moments to heal yourself. So maybe get some yummy drinks that are tasty, and allow yourself to feel into self-care, self-love, and then expansively do something that helps you feel like you're connecting to others also, and you're not just secluding yourself in there, so that you get a healthy nectar of loving to help you also in those experiences. Gotta make sure it's not sharp. I don't want anyone to poke themselves on my creations. Okay. So beautiful. Look at the energy on that. Oof, it's really nice. Okay, so thankful for them. Let me do one of those too. I'm making a huge blessing right now. If you have any questions, please do ask. This is such a huge blessing. Right. Yay. Oh, I'm so proud of myself for doing this. It's funny, like so many beings, I know the shopper said that they're out there trying to buy presents, and I'm like, when we create so lovingly. I'm gonna do both of them. I'm gonna do both. One can fit through there. Yay! Cool. I feel like the malachite is like a lot to have on there, but we're gonna do it. And then there. Completion. Yay! Gotta make sure it's not pokey. That's why, like right now, I'm bending it, the copper, so that it doesn't hurt anyone. cool. Yay, it's completed. Wait, there's a special way to wrap it. Put love into everything we do. Yay, completion. I have to use different screws maybe. Oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. I don't want it to get ruined. Okay, when I close the box, I don't want it to get ruined. Hopefully it's okay. Do that. Completion. And then I have this one. It's supposed to be a key ring. All right. I'm not sure if I want to do that. Okay. I'm just going to let it be. So there's that, there's that. I have the other present downstairs. All right, good. Hi, my loved ones. I'm just finishing up some presents, some gifts. This looks like a slinky. Look it. It looks like a slinky. That's so cool. I love slinkies. I don't love them, but I spent many moments as a little one making my slinkies go down the steps. We had these big steps, 16 stairs going upstairs. I did a lot of things on those stairs. But one of the cool things that I really enjoyed was putting the slinkies up and down them. Something about spirals that do things. It's really cool. All right. So thank you for your presences. I know that it's a lot. I'm a lot to work with, especially when I'm in creative mode. I'm let me heal you, but let me be creative because I have a lot to do. I do need to get on the road soon. So if any of you have any requests for any readings, any healings, anything that you need, I know Emma, I seen you requested some help and some healing. And I appreciate that. So I will do some light and help. Thank you. Beautiful light washing through the expansions of beingness. Emma, correction, you left that being. You told it to go. Inside your heart, you know that you were pushing it away because of what it did. So change the perception and perspective of it. Try not to feel like, oh, you need it. More like, is that healthy for you and your family? Your little ones, it's not even their father. And if it actually loved them in that way, then it would treat you better than it does. There's not any respect or anything happening in that household when that being's there. And there has to be a level of respect for those children to be raised to honor themselves as womb beings, as beings who can give birth and who need to have a strong awareness of who to lay with and who not to, who to have in the home and who not to. Like I literally am like, no, if somebody disrespects me in this home, I have to tell them they cannot come in my home anymore, in this home anymore, if they do that to the level where my kids are directly affected. And myself, I have like lines that I'm like, no, I already know those signs. I'm not going to allow myself to go through that experience or my children. And just nip it in the butt right when it begins. And as parents, as beings who've given birth, we have to do that. It's not about us wanting to have a relationship. It's about them having a stable home. Because they need us to create that stable home. It's not about us having a relationship with somebody. It's about them and us together having a stable place for them to have that's safe and stable for them to grow in. Loving someone, beautiful. If it's not working out communicatively, then maybe that being needs to have another location to inhabit while you get to learn how to collaborate and whatever relationship together in a stable way. But honestly, there has to be a sense of peacefulness for them and for us as beings, especially beings with purpose. So carefully watching into behaviors, what's being experienced, when is it too much, and accepting to not have to take on more than what is comfortable. Some moments beings in relationships think that it's the other one's duty to help them. And in reality, we have to feel comfortable to do what we do to help in the ways that we do and in the ways that feel comfortable. Because yes, we love each other. Yes, we will do that extra mile to work with each other and to help each other, but not always is that an option when we're also working on us and taking care of what we have to take care of. It's not always like, okay, I found you and now we'll do all of this and it'll just always be like that, like full throttle for each other in those ways when there's so many that we are working with, so many that we are helping, so much that we are doing as beings. And I feel that maybe if others were on that consciousness level of being aware that there's a lot happening and that not everyone's experiences are the exact same in that way, and that slowing is not always the option, that there's a lot of fast throttle to take care of in multiple areas, especially when we own our own businesses and we have to run companies and orchestrate things and do things that are our own productions and creations, and it's like it's a lot to work through as a being. Even with friendships, I have beings who call me and they don't remember that to ask, hey, how are you doing? They just kind of like call and say, hey, I want to ask you about what's happening with my job, what's happening with that, what's happening with that. Oh, can you do this for me? And then it's like, okay, what about, how are you? I've been thinking about you. I love you. I care about you. Like, do you feel those feelings? And there's some who call and they're right on it, like, hey, guess what? These blessings are happening. What blessings are happening with you? You know, I really love those kinds of relationships that I have because they're huge high ups. Like, it's high vibe conversations. And that's what conversations should be. It's high vibes. When it gets low vibes, it's like, why go into that vibe when we have to be purposeful, especially those of us who have to do work to save creations. It's not really worth it for us to go into those kinds of vibes, especially when we have so much to do and accomplish. And those vibes cause, like, for some, like me, I'm emotionally sensitive. So it causes tummy aches, or I might get tired or something from that experience. So I have to be really careful with myself and my conversations. So yeah, so that's a bit about me. For those of you who've been trying to contact me, and it's like really heavy emotional things, getting paid for what I do is nice because it integrates so that I don't get a tummy ache and I'm not focused on, like, I have to be working and now I have to also be doing like all of that, and then I'm gonna have to go to bed and put salve on my tummy and heal myself from that experience because it's so emotional when I do certain readings and certain like types of work to help beings work through things. And usually when I do answer the call, it's like in that emergency situation where someone's banging on their door to affect them, and I'm on that call, like, don't answer that door. You already know what's going to happen. You need to take care of yourself. You need to practice that self-worth, door to value, and raise that bar, and don't go back into it because they're already trying to pull you in and pull you under because they're miserable and they want you to be miserable. You know, like, it's that emergency situation that I'm like, okay, I'm ready to work with you, because I feel like that's the moment that they'll get the aha moment of, well, that's the reality check, because I can tell them again and again and again, get out of that situation. Okay, you got out of it, good job, but there's that being knocking at that door. What are you going to do now? Oh, their wallet's inside? How to get there? Oh, they came over for dinner, but yet they were mistreating you. You know, like, it's certain things like that that happen, and it's not that I don't want to respond to your messages. It's that it takes a lot of energy to do work with those extreme situations when someone's not listening on the repeat advice that I'm giving, because I am a seer and I do acknowledge both pages. I do acknowledge both sides and everyone involved in that experience. So I say it from a place of love and compassion to guide. Now, when that is not heated and it just is on a regular, it gets kind of tiring and it just gets too much. So then I suggest to do a session with me, so that, you know, it's like, it helps. It helps my family take moments to tell you and reiterate the messages that I already told you before. And that's true. But I do a lot of very, like, gifted readings where I don't charge money. I have beings who reach out to me with those who have special needs that I just help. You know, like, I do a lot of help work, compassion work. Some of you see me on videos doing that. But I also do the group work. So, like, twice a moon, I will intentionally do the birth signs and the cusp readings with the cards, and then depth communication about what you're going to experience with that. And it's really lovely. It shows that we have so many opportunities to work together when we add in the cusps of the readings, and then everyone here is hearing the expansion of the readings. So say you're in a relationship with somebody, well, now you have an inside scoop about what they're working on and what they're working through and how to work with them. If you're in love with somebody and you want to be close to them, you'll have a kind of a comprehension of what they're working through, so you could be empathetic and energetically rejuvenating in certain moments when they're working through things. there's a lot of compassion and integrations with the readings that I offer. All right, my loves and loveds, it's beautiful to see you. Amy, I realize that you want to save that loved, but you got to save you and you got to save those babies. And that is your reality. And I love you lots, and I know that you love that being also lots, and that you love your children lots. So just see it in that way, that it's like survival, to make sure that your family's safe and your children do not think that it's okay to get mistreated like that, or subjected to being told that you can't even do the work that you're supposed to, that you're called and destined to begin doing in those ways spiritually, to help the communities in the ways that you have. You have come so far from where you were with the knowledge that you were able to gain and remember, and to who you are as a being and your babies. You got to start working on you and them, and not worry about those others. Don't let others distract you. You don't need to have somebody there with you in that way. When you acknowledge that, is when the one who's supposed to be there will present itself. Okay. I love y'all. Take care. I gotta get ready. Ushers too.